Throughout my life, I've had multiple experience where I've just been humbled. I've been forced to accept the fact that I'm just not as good as I think I am. I am not where I should be in this area. And in this video, I just wanted to share a few different experiences that I've had where, I've just been humbled. And I just think this is something that's not really talked about enough. I feel like this is something, my experiences are something that could help people, maybe, rethink about where they are in life and maybe figure out ways that they can kind of get out of certain things. And I'll just get started. The first humbling experience I can think of is just playing Marvel Rivals. I mean, man, that game is just chaotic. It's crazy. There's a lot going on. And I've been on the game for a while. I've been playing it for a while now. I'm not sure how long, but it's been a minute. And I got to a point where I felt like I didn't need to play quick play or any of the arcade modes or anything like that, or even go to the practice range. I would literally like boot up the game after work, after I finish my homework, stuff like that. I would boot up the game and I would just do competitive. And that's all I would do, like competitive. And that competitive can be stressful. If you've played Marvel Rivals, competitive can be really stressful. And I was doing that like every day. And like I said, after work, after school, after any type of errand, I was just on Marvel Rivals doing competitive. And I'll say I'm a competent player. I know what I'm doing, but you guys know how it is if you played that game. You'll just have those days where you're just losing back to back to back to back to back, and you just feel so defeated. It just ruins your whole mood. It ruins your whole week. And recently, I just was like, Miles, you got to go back to the drawing board. Like, this game was supposed to be fun. It was supposed to be rewarding, but it's just, you're losing all the time when you play this game. Like, something else can be done. And I really had to just humble myself and be like, you know what? Let me start playing more quick play. Because for those of you who don't know, quick play is like the more casual version. It's not competitive. You're not competing for a title or anything. You're just playing for fun. It's kind of like how it sounds, quick play. So I've been doing that recently. I've been just when I boot up the game, I'll do a few quick play matches, and it's almost like a warm up. I feel like I can get my momentum going without the stress of a competitive match. And that's where I was like, man, this feels a lot better. I feel a lot more confident in my ability to actually, participate in a competitive match, because before I was just throwing myself out there and just kind of hoping for the best. I was hoping that my skills that I had built up would, carry me throughout the competitive experience, and it just wasn't working. I had to do something different. And it just really taught me that I had to focus on the fundamentals. I had to focus on my foundation in that game. And yeah, I mean, now I feel like I've been able to grow. I've been able to, not that I'm winning every match, but I feel like I am starting to climb more consistently. And if you are playing that game, I would really encourage you to do more than competitive, because I know there's other people like me where you just turn on the game, you play competitive, and you lose back to back to back to back, and then you're just done with the game. No, it is worth it to do quick play or even some of the arcade matches. And another separate experience that I feel like has really taught me to kind of humble myself is just this whole job search, this job market. In 2024 and throughout 2025, I was able to take part of this really cool experience where I was able to go out of state. I was able to work at this really cool company. It was something that I had been wanting to do for so long, and I was able to take part in it. And I got all this job experience. I got a lot of life experience. And coming back home, I was just like, man, like, I know any job is going to take me. I know any job would be lucky to have me a part of their team. And there were certain jobs that I was looking at where I was like, okay, yeah, no, I'm too good for that. I'm too good for that. And, after applying for at least like 20 different jobs and getting rejections and some places just straight up ignoring me, I was like, okay, I gotta, I gotta get something. I gotta make money somehow. So, I started working with my sister, and she was working at a place that I had. It sounds so crazy, but I had literally like vowed to never work at this particular place, and that's where I'm at now. That's where I'm at, and I just had to humble myself and realize that no, you're not too good for this. This is probably something you need to be doing. And in my head, I was just like, I gotta get paid more. I gotta get these type of benefits. I just know with my work experience, this is what I deserve. And I think it was with this situation. I think it was really God saying like, Miles, you gotta slow down. There's some stuff that you still need to build upon, and there's still some stuff you need to work on. And I'm honestly grateful for the experience. This job I have, I just was prepared for it to be the worst thing in the world, and it's really not. I've met some good people, and it's a chill job too. A lot of these jobs where you might be getting paid a little bit more come with a lot of stress, and that's not something I'm experiencing, to be honest. I'm honestly at a really like healthy mental state. And yeah, it was just, I really just had to humble myself and be like, nah, my sister is working here. you know why should I think that this is something that I can't do? And yeah, I mean, another experience, the last experience that I would like to provide for you guys, so this video doesn't get too long, is just being a content creator. I've only been back for a little bit, but what I'm learning is that being a content creator is a very, very, very humbling experience. Creating content, you spend so much time and thought and effort on making a video and putting out stuff that you're super passionate about, only for it to get like a not even like 10 views, and you're like, man, I felt like what I was saying was made sense. I felt like what I was saying was compelling, but maybe not to other people. But with that, you just kind of learn to kind of champion yourself and be more confident in your ideas, and not to just, talk to the wall, but to really just go back and be like, okay, well, I feel like I did do this well, but maybe this is something that I could add to my content. This is something that I could add to my videos. And then, you start to see, your people come. And, yeah, that this was just something I wanted to put out, because I just feel like we don't talk about having humbling experiences as much as we should, because a lot of us, especially with social media, we see people doing so many different types of things, and we just like, man, how did they get there? How did they do that? And we often forget that we have the ability, but we have to work on our foundations and the fundamentals and the basics. A lot of people, they'll get the camera equipment, they'll get the recording equipment, but it's like, do you have the, vocabulary? Do you have the presence? Do you have the ability to, captivate an audience? Stuff like that. Like, there's just basic things that you have to work on before you build up to bigger things. And definitely be confident, know your worth. I'm not saying just accept anything and just accept anything, but you have to be prepared to look inside yourself and know that there are always things that you can work on and things that you can build on to get better. Marvel Rivals, I was only doing competitive, and I wasn't taking the opportunity to hone the skills that I did already have. you know, with my job experience, you know, looking for a job, I just knew that I deserved better without actually thinking about stuff that I still needed to work on. And then being a content creator, I'm learning that I still have a long way to go, and that, you know, all that is okay. So yeah, I don't want this video to be too long. I just wanted to encourage people to accept those humbling experiences and know how to learn from them, and know that there is still plenty of room to grow and expand your skills and knowledge. So before I end the video, you know, I wanted to ask you guys, have you guys had like a humbling experience where you really had to just like regroup and be like, oof, you know, I was so used to doing this, or I thought I deserved this, but now I'm thinking, man, I really should have been working on this, or I really should have been preparing for this outcome. You know, have you had a humbling experience where you really had to, where you really just had to take a step back? But yeah, just a quick video today. Those are some of the things that have been on my mind. I'll see you guys another time.